Hey everyone, welcome to English Pod, where we make learning English fun with How I Met Your Mother. In this series, I'll break down keywords, slang, idioms, and cultural references from each episode to help you improve your English naturally. Watch before or after the episode to boost your understanding. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's dive in.
We're diving into a TV show.
Yeah, How I Met Your Mother. Season 1, Episode 12, The Wedding, which I think is, well, it's a fun one.
It is, and our mission here is to explore the language, the vocabulary, idioms, phrases, and also the cultural bits you see in this episode.
Right, to give everyone listening a richer feel for English and action and, I guess, the cultural norms behind it all.
Exactly. And this should help you understand similar stuff, whether you're watching other shows or, just in real-life conversations.
Okay, let's jump right in. Vocabulary first. The word meticulous comes up implicitly.
Meticulous, yeah. It means very careful, very precise, like paying super close attention to all the little details.
Like Claudia in that wedding guest list, right? She had everything planned out.
Precisely. Every name, every plus one. That's being meticulous. It's not just as careful. It's like painstakingly careful.
It feels more intense than just careful.
It really does. It implies a level of thoroughness, maybe even bordering on obsessive sometimes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say someone glanced meticulously.
Good point. Okay, next one. Agitated.
Agitated. That feeling of being troubled or nervous, pretty upset.
Ted definitely gets agitated when he talks to Claudia about the RSVP change for Robin. You can see him getting worked up.
Yeah, and agitated captures that sort of restless, on-edge feeling. It's not just sad or angry, it's got that nervous energy. Often used when talking about someone's emotional state.
And after that, Barney warns Ted about repercussions.
Repercussions.
Yeah.
Basically, unintended consequences of an action. And usually they're negative.
So Barney's saying, if you bring Robin, bad things will happen. Simple as that.
Pretty much. But repercussions often suggest something more indirect, like a knock-on effect you didn't plan for. It's a bit more, maybe sophisticated than just consequences.
Gotcha. Then later, we see Claudia looking quite vulnerable.
Ah, yes. Vulnerable, meaning open to emotional hurt. Sort of defenseless, like after she fights with Stuart.
She really lets her guard down in that moment.
Yeah, vulnerable really captures that sense of exposure, like having no protection against emotional pain.
Yeah.
It's a key word in relationship talk.
Definitely. And then on the flip side, you've got Stuart, who seems kind of oblivious.
Totally oblivious, meaning unaware, not conscious of what's actually going on around him.
Like he just doesn't see how upset Claudia is. Until it's almost too late.
Exactly. He's missing all the cues that seem pretty obvious to everyone else. It happens, right? Someone just not getting it.
Which maybe leads to Claudia sounding a bit condescending sometimes.
Condescending? Acting in a way that shows you think you're superior.
Maybe like how she talks to Ted about the guest list, like how dare you question me kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's subtle sometimes. That tone that says, I know better than you. It's not outright aggression, but it creates a distance.
Yeah. And with all this drama flying around, the actual wedding prep must have been hectic.
Oh, hectic for sure. Full of frantic activity, just nonstop chaos.
More than just busy or crazy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hectic has that feeling of being pulled in 10 different directions at once. Total whirlwind.
Okay, and then there's ambiguous.
Ambiguous, meaning not clear or having more than one possible meaning.
Like Claudia's initial response to Ted about bringing a guest, it wasn't a clear yes or no, right? That caused the whole mess.
Spot on. And ambiguous is super useful for describing those situations. Unclear language, mixed signals, confusing decisions, stuff like that.
And Ted trying to get Robin to the wedding, he's pretty relentless.
Relentless, yeah, never giving up, just keeps pushing, very persistent and determined.
Even when Claudia is clearly not happy about it, he won't take no for an answer.
That's exactly what relentless means, that unwavering drive.
And if things had gone really sideways, someone could have ended up devastated.
Devastated. Extremely sad, like emotionally shattered. You kind of see Claudia bordering on that after her fight.
It's way stronger than just saying sad, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It implies deep emotional damage. A really powerful word.
Okay, last vocabulary word. Inevitable.
Inevitable. Certain to happen, unavoidable.
With all the tension and Ted pushing things, the wedding drama almost felt inevitable, didn't it?
It really did.
Yeah.
Like something was bound to blow up. It's a word you hear in lots of contexts, big life events or just, interpersonal stuff.
Okay, great list. Now let's move on to some of the phrases and idioms used. First one, take it up with someone.
Right. Take it up with someone means to discuss something or maybe argue about it with the person in charge or the person responsible.
Like when Lily tells Ted regarding Claudia's rules, well, take it up with Claudia.
Exactly. It's like saying, this isn't my problem, go talk to the boss. A way to pass the buck sometimes.
Makes sense. Then there's lose it.
Lose it, to get really angry or super emotional, like lose control.
Marshall's worried Claudia is going to lose it if Ted messes with the seating chart or brings Robin.
Yeah, you can almost picture the explosion. It's a very visual phrase for losing your cool.
Then, not in the mood. We've all been there.
Haven't we just? Not in the mood, just not feeling like doing something or not emotionally ready for it.
Like Ted realizes Claudia is not in the mood to hear logic about his +1 situation.
Right. It highlights that state where rational arguments just bounce off. Logic isn't going to work right now.
Been there. Okay, after arguments, people need to patch things up.
Patch things up. Yeah, it means to fix a relationship, mend things after a disagreement or fight.
Lily sees Stuart and Claudia talking and hopes they've patched things up.
It's that idea of repairing the connection, smoothing things over, making amends.
Nice one. How about on the fence?
On the fence means you're undecided, unsure about something, stuck between two options.
Like, Ted is kind of on the fence about whether pushing the Robin issue is worth the potential drama.
Exactly. He's weighing the pros and cons, hasn't committed yet. That moment of indecision.
Then a more blunt one, suck it up.
Suck it up, ha, yeah. Means to just accept something unpleasant or difficult without complaining about it, deal with it.
It's kind of what Lily implies Ted should do about the RSVP. Like, you missed the deadline, now suck it up.
It's that sort of tough love advice. Just endure it quietly.
Okay. And the fear with all this wedding tension is someone might make a scene.
Right, make a scene to behave loudly or inappropriately in public, causing embarrassment for yourself or others.
Nobody wants Claudia, or anyone really, making a scene at the wedding over the guest list.
Absolutely not. It's about disrupting the social harmony, drawing negative attention. Big social faux pas.
And lastly, for idioms, Ted doesn't want to blow it with Robin.
Blow it means to mess up, to ruin a good opportunity or chance.
He likes Robin and is worried that bringing her into this wedding mess might scare her off or just blow his chance with her.
Yeah, it really captures that fear of failure, especially early in a potential relationship. Saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing.
These phrases really do add color, don't they? They make the dialogue feel authentic.
Totally. They're the kind of everyday expressions that bring interactions to life.
All right, let's shift focus now to the cultural context. Some of this stuff might seem obvious, but it's key to the plot. First, RSVPs and wedding etiquette.
Yeah, this is huge in, well, many Western cultures. You get a formal invitation, and you're expected to RSVP, which comes from French. Répondez s'il vous plaît, meaning, please reply.
And you need to reply by a certain date, usually, so the hosts can plan seating, food.
Exactly, and changing your mind last minute, especially changing from a no to a yes and wanting to bring someone else, that's generally considered pretty rude.
Which is the core of Ted's problem here. He didn't follow the etiquette.
He really didn't. It disrespects the planning and the cost involved for the hosts.
Okay, next cultural bit. Chickening out at the altar.
Ah, the classic trope. You see this all the time in movies, TV shows.
Someone's about to say, I do, and suddenly bolts.
Yep. Gets cold feet, has second thoughts, and makes a run for it. Often played for comedy or high drama.
And Lily and Marshall joke about Claudia potentially doing this right, which plays right into that common cultural idea.
It does. Then there's the term bridezilla.
Oh, yeah. Everyone knows this one, or thinks they do.
It's slang, obviously. A mix of bride and Godzilla. Describes a bride who becomes, let's say, overly demanding, maybe controlling, super stressed and emotional leading up to the wedding.
And Claudia. Well, she definitely has her moments in this episode that fit that stereotype with the guest list and everything.
She does. It's a very recognizable, though maybe sometimes unfair, stereotype in wedding culture.
Okay, next. The idea of being on the rebound.
Right. In dating terms, being on the rebound means starting a new relationship very soon after a previous one ended.
And the implication is?
The implication is often that the person isn't fully over their ex, and maybe they're just using the new person as a distraction or to make themselves feel better, rather than forming a genuine connection.
And Robin calls Ted out on this possibility, doesn't she? She's wary of being his rebound girl.
She is, which shows she understands that dynamic. It's a common concern in modern dating.
Then there's something Barney is very focused on. The hot girl at the wedding trope.
Yeah. Barney's raison d'etre sometimes. It's this recurring idea especially in American pop culture, that weddings are great places to meet attractive single people.
Because everyone's dressed up, celebrating, maybe the alcohol is flowing.
Pretty much. Characters like Barney often see weddings less as a celebration of love and more as well, a target-rich environment.
It's definitely played for laughs with him. Okay, related to the RSVP thing. The +1 rule.
Yes, the +1. This goes back to etiquette. If your invitation says, "and guest," or specifically mentions a +1, you can bring a date.
But if it doesn't,
If it doesn't, or if you RSVP'd for just yourself, you generally shouldn't just show up with someone extra. It messes with seating plans, catering counts, and it's considered inconsiderate to the hosts who are footing the bill.
and this directly explains why Claudia freaks out about Ted wanting to bring Robin. She wasn't accounted for.
Exactly. It's about respecting the host's arrangements.
And finally, we absolutely have to mention Barney's catchphrase, suit up.
Can't talk about Barney without it. Suit up. It's his signature line throughout the whole series.
It represents his philosophy, right? That you should always be dressed impeccably, usually in a suit, no matter the occasion.
Pretty much. It's about looking sharp, being prepared, projecting confidence. It's a huge part of his character.
And he definitely says it in this episode when they're getting ready for the wedding. It's his go-to move.
Even amidst all the chaos, Barney insists on proper attire.
So, yeah, looking at all these cultural elements, you really see how they underpin the humor and the conflicts in the episode.
We're going to zero in on, 7 key things your notes highlighted?
That's the plan. See how they actually work in, real speech.
Perfect, because people wonder, right, how do you talk about regrets? Or figure out those slightly stuffier sentences you hear sometimes.
Exactly. This should give some practical insight. It's not just rules on a page.
Okay, let's dive in. First up, unreal past conditionals. The third conditional.
Right. The structure is usually if plus past perfect, would have plus past participle.
Like Ted's line, if I hadn't said no to the RSVP, we could have gone together.
Yeah.
Classic what if.
Precisely. It's all about imagining a different past. One that, didn't happen, often with that feeling of regret.
Yeah, you can almost hear the sigh.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Mobile verbs in the past. Could have, would have, should have.
These are really useful for looking back.
Your notes had Marshall saying, you should have seen Claudia's face. What's the feel of should have there?
Well, should have often suggests, like, you miss out. It emphasizes that something notable happened that the listener didn't experience.
Right, adds a bit of drama.
Definitely. And then there's Ted again.
I could have just said yes and brought Robin.
Yeah, see, could have is more about a possibility, a path not taken, a choice he could have made but didn't.
A missed opportunity, maybe.
Exactly. Reflecting on what was possible back then.
Okay. Now, your notes also mentioned inversion, like, had I RSVP'd yes. That wasn't actually in the dialogue, was it?
No, not directly quoted, but it's related. It's a way to express that same third conditional idea.
So how does it work? Why use it?
It's more formal, starting with had instead of if. It just adds this layer of emphasis, makes the condition sound a bit more significant, maybe.
Okay, interesting. Adds a bit of flair.
Sort of, yeah. Draws attention.
Moving on. The subjunctive mood. Lily says, I suggest that Ted go talk to Claudia.
You're right, notice go, not goes.
Yeah, that's the key bit, isn't it? Why is that?
It's the subjunctive. After certain verbs like suggest, demand, recommend, you use the base form of the verb. It signals it's a suggestion, a hypothetical, not a fact.
Regardless of who the subject is. Ted, go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Next, reported speech. So Lily reports, she said you weren't invited anymore.
Right. But Claudia originally said, he is not invited anymore. Present tense.
Ah, so the tense changes when you report it later.
Exactly. It shifts back. It
Sure.
becomes where, or was, because Lily's reporting it after the fact. Keeps the timeline straight.
Makes sense. Then present perfect, Ted. I've been looking forward to this wedding for weeks.
Yeah, have been looking present perfect continuous, technically.
What's that doing there?
It connects the past to the present. The looking forward started for weeks ago, and it's still true now, as he's speaking. It emphasizes the duration leading up to the present.
Got it. An ongoing state.
Pretty much.
And finally, number 7. Ellipsis. Robin's, you still going?
Yeah, instead of the full, are you still going?
Just dropping words. Happens all the time.
Oh, constantly. Especially in casual American English. It's about being efficient, you know? If the meaning's clear from context, why add the extra words? Makes speech flow better.
Right. More natural.
Definitely.
Okay, wow. So quite a range there. We've covered conditionals for what-ifs, modals for possibilities and regrets, that formal inversion thing?
Subjunctive for suggestions, reported speech tense shifts, present perfect for duration, and ellipsis for brevity.
All packed into one sitcom episode. It shows how these aren't just, like, dusty grammar rules.
Not at all. They're tools we use constantly, often without thinking, to add layers of meaning, feeling, emphasis.
Here's a synopsis of How I Met Your Mother, Season 1, Episode 12. The Wedding. Ted is invited to the wedding of Claudia and Stuart and excitedly asks Robin to be his date. However, when Claudia finds out, she's furious, claiming Ted RSVP'd as a single guest and can't bring anyone. Ted is confused and tries to sort things out, leading to tension between the bride and groom just days before their wedding. Meanwhile, Barney, being Barney, encourages Ted to come alone so he can flirt freely at the wedding. But Ted really wants Robin to come. He confronts Claudia and even talks to Stuart to resolve the drama. Eventually, the couple reconciles and says Robin can attend, only for her to cancel on Ted last minute due to work. Ted ends up going alone and, ironically, meets another woman at the wedding. The episode ends on a romantic note, showing how unexpected turns can lead to surprising opportunities.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed learning new words, phrases, grammar, and cultural references from How I Met Your Mother. I'll be back with the next lesson soon. Until then, bye.